Good morning, YouTube. It's your boy Anthony from Hellboard Productions. I've been getting a lot of comments on my YouTube asking me, Ant, why do you have so many guns? Why do you have so much gear? Well, for those of you who think I have a lot of guns, I invite you to look at my buddy Brandon's page if you know him, and you tell me who has a lot of guns. But it got me thinking, I do have a couple, and I guess maybe I owe you guys an explanation. I don't know, but a lot of people seem to wonder about it. So I thought I'd give you a rundown of the guns that I do have. I'll start with what I had, what I started with, and we'll just kind of work from there. So my first gun that I own is my Smart Part Shocker. This is the first gun that I ever bought myself. It's a Shocker NXT Dynasty board inside. It doesn't really work all that well anymore. I'm sure that it's just fine. I just honestly don't have the patience to go ahead and play with the trigger set. A little funky for me. It just doesn't. I don't love it. I just don't love my Shocker. So then what I basically did was, instead of having this gun, I went ahead and I purchased off eBay an E-Tech 2. You may have seen it on my Facebook. You may have seen it on the page itself. I have videos of the E-Tech shooting. Gun shot amazingly. I actually sold that gun plus a couple dollars, and bought a different one, but we'll get to that one in a second. The gun that I bought to kind of take over the reins of my E-Tech was my Ego 10, my Ego Blink, and that's this bad boy right here. If you're not familiar with this guy, this is my baby. This right here, this is never gonna leave me. If anybody asks me how much this costs, it costs infinity billion dollars. This is my baby. This goes nowhere. Reason I picked this up was I wanted something that was a little sturdier of a platform, better board, better reg, just more consistent. And let's be frank, I mean, everybody wants to have one pretty gun. You can have a million guns, but everybody just wants that one gun that's really nice and stands out and always shows up in pictures. And that was my Blink. I have it set up just the way I want it. The trigger is super, super, super soft. And this is just a fantastic gun. If you're in the market for an Ego, you can do a lot worse than an Ego 10. These things are fantastic. But moving on to what happened with my E-Tech, I actually sold that plus a few dollars, plus a few gift cards, blah, 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 and I picked up the white and gold Dye NT. Reason why I picked this one up is because I've always been a spool valve guy since I've been playing, and but none of the other spoolies really did it for me. I wasn't a big fan of the DM series because it had that big extra piece back here. I just wasn't a fan of the design of it. But my buddy needed to offload the gun, and he gave me a phenomenal deal on it. So I figured, what the hell? I had to spend some time getting this thing set up the way I wanted it. But I love it. It's beautifully streamlined. It's a very slender gun. It's a fantastic gun. And then I got to thinking, I'm very big on getting people into the sport. I love taking people who have never played before, bringing them out and letting them have a fantastic day of paintball. And I'm not going to lie to you, I wasn't going to let them do that with my NT or my Ego. Sorry. So what I did was, I went out and bought just a clunker, just a big old gun that I didn't really care what happened to, and that is my Vibe. It took me a little while. I did a lot of trigger adjustment on this. I actually took the trigger out. You have to take the whole top piece off and everything. Took the trigger out, sanded a little bit of it down, adjusted the set screw here, and was able to actually get a pretty decent trigger on the Vibe. It only shoots, I think it caps at like 12 or 15 balls a second. So it's not a very powerful or rapid fire gun. But if you're just going and playing for the first time, and you're using my gear, you're not going to drop my NT or my Blink in the woods or anything like that. So I went ahead and picked up something that I don't care. If someone smashes this against a rock, this is, if you've ever felt the Vibe or the GOG NVs, they're the same gun. It takes a concerted amount of effort to mess this thing up. So that's why I went ahead and picked this up. Now, another situation arose where another one of my buddies needed to offload his gun, and he set a price that was really, really reasonable for me, and I really couldn't turn it down. So I ended up picking up my E-Tech 3 LT. It's a Digicam. How well you can see that right there. I actually have my computer monitor behind this camera, and that's actually what I'm able to look at in the mirror. So it's like a mirror image, if you will. The reason I picked up the LT You really won't be able to see it too well, but if you can, let's give it a shot. If you look right down the breech there, you might be able to see a little blue piece inside. You'll also notice that this bolt is completely different. It's also got a lot of paint on it right now, but I actually have my Planet Eclipse 50 cal kit installed in this gun. And I pretty much use this gun specifically for 50 cal paintball. It just makes it a lot easier than having to offload and take it out. It's a bit of work. You have to put a piece in here, new bolt, new feed neck. You actually have to have a different insert for the feed neck to go into. What I basically did was take just a banger hopper, just like a VL2000, 200, whatever they call them, and sawed off the feed neck. You can see that in one of my other videos. Had that in here, and then the hopper can sit in there comfortably. Otherwise, it just wiggles around in here. There's different detents in here. There's a breech piece that goes right down through the feed neck, a feed neck piece. And it's just more work than I wanted to do. If I wanted to take it out and put it in and take it out, it would fit comfortably in my blink, but it's just easy. Now I don't have to worry about it. Now I have a 50 cal gun if I need to. And if I don't want to shoot 50 cal, I can always just take it out and call it a day. So then I started playing around, and I get really dangerous when I start playing around with other people's guns, because if I like it, I want it. And it's a very bad habit of mine. That sometimes I end up with a little bit more disposable income than I'd like to, and I start buying stuff. And that's why you see me with like 10 masks and 3 different pod packs. I like to find what works for me and then just offload the rest. My last purchase, oh man, I love this thing so much. I've not really held very many guns in my hand that shoot better than this. I went ahead and I found, through my forum, New Jersey Paintball, and through another one that some of you may or may not be associated with, the legit BST Buy Sell Trade Paintball on Facebook. Dan and Craig are some moderators for that, but I tell you, I went on there and I hooked up with this kid, and he needed to offload one of his guns. He ended up having 3 guns and just one he just didn't need. So I got my Geo. This is my my Ashes 2 Geo 2.1. See the all that good stuff. This gun is phenomenal. It's super light in the hands. As soon as I started playing with the Geos over at the field over at Meadowlands, I immediately wanted one. To me, they're whisper quiet in comparison to, obviously, to my Egos and such. The trigger is just phenomenal. It's set up the exact same way as my Ego is. It's in my personal opinion, the top of the line marker. A lot of people are shooting Luxes nowadays. I personally don't see the need for designer markers, although I'm not going to lie to you, I'm probably going to end up getting one eventually. They're pretty sweet. But I've yet to hold a gun in my hand that has the ergonomics for my hand. Everybody's different. Some guns are just a little more comfortable than others, but this one, you can see how well it fits in my hands. It cups perfectly, and just the action on the trigger, you can move so very well with it. The ease of disassembly, you can see that the bolt out the back, you can actually just twist it right out. You don't really have to lock it down really hard. Uses just enough lube to get it by, so you're not worrying about spitting lube down your barrel. Just a phenomenal gun. So maybe that helps answer some of your questions. That's pretty much how I ended up with each of my guns. The only one that is not pictured below is my my E-Tech, and that is, alas, gone. Sayonara. But that's it. That's pretty much why I purchased each of my guns. They do each serve a separate purpose. I do have, like I said, I have 2 Eclipse guns that are poppet valve. I have the one that's spoolie, and I have my NT, which is obviously a spoolie, and the shockers are both spoolies, or the smart parts are both spool valves. The real good, solid reason why I love playing with some of these guns, I don't know how many of you out there are X-ball players, speedball players. It's such an inconvenience sometimes, especially when I play usually like a mid position or a back position. So I end up being usually, fingers crossed, one of the last people in the game. And if things just don't work out well and you just get painted up and you get paint just all over your bolt and you just make a giant mess through everything, it's a real pain in the ass to clean up. I like the ease and convenience of if I get this all painted up, I don't even have to grab a cloth. I can just take my shirt, wipe it down, get it clean, and I'm ready to go. I don't have to worry about popping the bolt out, cleaning inside. Just something one less thing to worry about. And that's pretty much that was one of the bigger selling points for me. Like I said, my buddy just kind of needed to offload that gun, and I was more than happy to help him take it off his hands. So hopefully that answers some of your questions, guys. If you do have any more, obviously, please ask away. I'm an open book. If you need anything, I'm always here. Rate, comment, subscribe right down below, or hit the old channel up and send me a message. Alright? I'll talk to you guys later, man. Hello, Boards out.